Hey everybody, it's a little warmish in Wisconsin, so I have my AC on. But I want to talk about something I don't discuss very often, and it's the estrangement that I had with my own mother. And so, to give you an idea of how I was raised, it may be similar to your life as well, as we were raised Catholic, and I was taught to respect my elders. And in my family, when it came to my mom, it was all about image. So you wanted to have the White House and the white picket fence and, this and that. And it's just the way it was. So I respected my elders. I followed the rules. We didn't embarrass our parents. But also, that caused a certain disconnect between my mom and I, because I never felt like I could really go and talk with her. We didn't have heart-to-hearts. It's just the way it was. So I would talk to cousins or friends or my friends' moms if I struggled with anything. And so, to be honest, my mom and I were just very different people. I was more like my dad and she was more like her dad. And so I didn't really know how to navigate or manage disconnecting from my mom in a very healthy way. I couldn't express anything unkind or anything that was negative. It's just the way it was. So I estranged from my mother throughout pretty much my entire adult life. And yet there was always pressure to maintain the relationship from my maternal grandmother. She'd say, well, you have one mom and this and that. And so I would disconnect and then I would reconnect out of respect for my grandmother. But a lot of times I would just disconnect and do my own thing. But there were times that I would literally be at the end of my rope and blow up. And I would look like a crazy person. And people would say, well, Lori, there's something wrong with Lori. She's got issues. And so I tried to reconnect over and over and over, and it usually always ended badly. Like I said, we never really had a form of communication in my home. I never felt safe or close. And it's not because I was beaten. We didn't have that kind of connection. And then I want to tell you, as I became an adult and I would be at family parties with my mom, how I would manage the situation is I wanted to see my grandmother and the rest of my family. So I would attend parties, funerals, weddings, and all that. And my mom was there, and my children would talk with her, and I would nod and smile, but I wouldn't have a conversation with her. I kind of would sit in the same room, but there was avoidance at all costs. And so I played nice for my grandma because I had respect for her. And I remained cordial. I mean, I never went to a family party and told my mom off. I wouldn't do that because I had respect for my grandmother. And nobody wanted to make my grandma cry. We just didn't, and that's why I reconnected over and over and over. But I think finally, after my grandma passed, I sat down with my mom and I said, I'd love to have an apology for my childhood. And she apologized, and so did I. And I said, in order for us to have a healthy relationship, I need you to talk to me about anything you are concerned about, and then also please don't lie about anything. And those two things happened within months after we had our sit down, and I basically at that point said, I love you, yet without trust there is no relationship, so I can't continue. And I wished her no ill will, but we had that final conversation, and then I moved on. So she has attempted to reach out, and I do not respond, because when I said my last goodbye, I was serious. And so that's just the way it is. But you can do what you want. I'm hoping to help other estranged parents understand. Then again, I was never cruel, and when I estranged, we didn't have the internet, and I didn't put my mom on blast. It's just the way it was. So anyways, estrangement is different today than it was before, but I hope this helps someone. And I hope you're having a great day. Bye-bye.